On this channel, we try to both look back and appreciate what we had, what we cherish most about the past, what games we love, why we love them, and maybe what we would like to see from that time and then used in present day with new properties, sequels, or anything like that. Medal of Honor is an easy franchise for me to point to, where I see the box art, a friend brings it up, or I listen to one of the music tracks and I'm instantly transported to a better time, a warm blanket kind of feeling. It makes me wonder why we can't have anything like that right now. It feels like the rise of nostalgia-based shooters, that some indie developer would come along and make a Medal of Honor-like game. And hey, maybe someone is out there, and we just don't know about it yet, and I haven't heard about it yet, and they're making it. But right now, it feels like there is a hole where the franchise once was, and still is something that needs to be filled. All sorts of niches are seen in this space. Maybe there might be a space for one based on or around Medal of Honor.
Things around here are going to get even more hectic than they were before. The OSS is recruiting a new agent for a very specialized mission, and I think we've got our man. Remember that young ADC pilot who got you out of North Africa a year and a half ago? A lieutenant named Jimmy Patterson? I've kept my eye on him since then, and lo and behold, he just got himself nominated for the Medal of Honor. I'm going to see him tomorrow. If he decides to accept our offer, I want to make you his boss. My gut tells me the two of you will make a good team.
I think the simple answer is that can Medal of Honor exist in this current climate? Well, yes, it sort of already is here. The old games may not be as easily accessible as they once were, but you can find them. You may even own them, and you can still play them too, especially if you are one of those crafty PC players as well. But for a more traditional experience, something native on every platform, I think this is something that should exist, but I wonder what is stopping EA from doing something like this. Last time I heard is that EA still owns the property. Why would you let this thing become dormant and do nothing with it? Are you just hoarding properties? That might also explain why other EA-only games, like say Army of Two, or any of what Pandemic made are still locked up, like some mercenary titles and more. There is this part of me that thinks EA has considered putting Medal of Honor back out there, but I don't think they are probably thinking about it in the right way. My guess is that they want to go more at it from a multiplayer angle, or at least have a new entry be heavily multiplayer focused. Multiplayer games, if done well, can get that audience and have long legs. Long legs means more people are playing the game. More people playing the game, then more instances to implement battle passes and other items for players to buy. I don't know about you, but I really don't want crazy filters, skins, and silly items that we've seen in, say, Call of Duty, being something that is then in a Medal of Honor game in any form. If Medal of Honor came back, it would need to be grounded, feel real, not a sim or anything like that, but have the authenticity that it's known for. It sounds, looks, and feels like you are right there, in danger with all the soldiers around you.
Most of what people know about Pearl Harbor is from just a real aerial view and seeing ships exploding and burning in the harbor. We have a really neat opportunity here to create that experience for players from the ground and put them smack in the middle of it.
I will continue to be a proponent for this, but Medal of Honor should honestly return as a mid-tier, single-player only game. A modest budget, even something that maybe even feels like an older title in a way. While I think many shooter fans would probably enjoy a Medal of Honor game, even if they've never played it before. But this is not something that's going to dethrone Call of Duty or anything like that, or be a substitute for their own Battlefield. Medal of Honor should be its own thing. A smaller, maybe more old-fashioned title. I think the audience that is craving for more Medal of Honor is more of a niche one now. Many of us are a bit older than the younger crowd playing games. Medal of Honor is kinda niche, and since EA has the license to this, why not make a game for that niche group? If the game is good, then that garners more people to then look at that title and want to try it and then buy it, thus expanding the niche a bit further. I feel like the Medal of Honor fanbase is pretty clear on what they want, but EA doesn't seem to be too good at listening, as evident by their VR game that came out several years ago. But that has been a while. Maybe internally they have reconsidered a better option for this franchise. There is a spot for Medal of Honor to return. We just need some smart, talented people who own the IP to actually do something good with it.
I've come to realize that there's nothing good about war, but there is good in why you fight wars. and we were all fighting for the same thing.
I feel like one of the easier ways to get Medal of Honor back out there would be to start releasing the titles through the PlayStation Classics catalog. Start with the very first PlayStation game, and work your way up through the PS2 titles. There's a lot of games, good to great ones even. That would seem like an easy win to start getting more eyes back on Medal of Honor. Get some people talking about it again. Maybe have some fun trophies attached to it too. This was done with a bunch of series so far, as we have seen some really awesome PlayStation first party come back, like say with Sly Cooper and the Siphon Filter games, along with all of the Time Splitters titles. Come on Sony, EA, whoever needs to talk to get this ball rolling. This is a no-brainer option, but it doesn't solve the grander issue, because if the games come back this way, it would be only to bring back some of the games, and they would only be available on the PS4 and 5. I want to live in a day where Medal of Honor can be found on every modern console, including PC, so EA should definitely do this. It would be something good. So let's say that EA is doing nothing with the property, nothing currently in development, or planned for Medal of Honor. Then this is where I would suggest that they look to have an outside studio get involved. If they had the power to do anything like this, I would see if Night Dive Studios was interested in remastering Medal of Honor Allied Assault. That is considered one of the best titles in this series, but it was only ever on PC. Touch up the graphics, provide good controller support, bring back the multiplayer. There's even bot mods that you can add to it too. So do that in an official capacity. Include the expansions, and there you go, a great way to play a wonderful game. And knowing how Night Dive does it, this would be found on all of the systems. I can understand not going this way if EA was actually doing something with Medal of Honor. But if you are just holding on to the property, what is even the point? Back in the day, EA bought the property and the developers because the first game was a hit, and it was the beginning of something special. But now, nothing is going on with it.
Hey, Worth, go tell the CO we got this one.
Sir, Sergeant Setcher's requesting reinforcements ASAP!
Christ, we're spread thin as it is. Okay, you and Travers go, I'll hold here. I can't stand Setzer anyway.
Can a new or even remastered Medal of Honor exist today? Well yes, it most certainly can. I don't know if it would ever hit the heights that it used to have, or when it was at its strongest, but Medal of Honor would have to return as a Medal of Honor title, as a title that was being made for the fanbase, not as something coming out to try and battle with other large first-person shooter properties. This isn't Battlefield or Call of Duty or anything like that, but something more old-fashioned. Yes, I think a nice single-player game is where they should go, because that's kind of how this series started, but maybe a new game isn't the best approach. Maybe they go the route of a remaster of some kind to sort of test the waters, see if people bite, and show EA that they want more of Medal of Honor. I want to say I am hopeful, but this is also EA that we're talking about here. They are not like they were back in the PS2 days. The EA today, if given any opportunity to screw it up or make a bad choice, they usually go with that one. But maybe someone with a little bit of power in the company, maybe who is a fan themselves of Medal of Honor, can get something rolling. Well, I will tell you right now, whether it's EA or an indie or something else entirely, if you make me something like the classic games, or something very similar to it, I'll tell you right here, right now, that will catch my interest. And if you can honor that legacy, well then you will most certainly have more than just my interest. Medal of Honor should most definitely still exist today. While we don't have a new game, not yet anyway, or an indie in that style, I still hold this series near and dear to me. So in that sense, it isn't ever going away. Maybe one day, it might have a worthwhile return. What are your thoughts on all of this? Should EA bring it back, or maybe an indie developer pick up the slack? Let me know in the comments down below. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please check out my Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you can help to keep this channel going strong, and this allows me to be able to do more for my awesome audience. Please check out the links in the description and pinned comment for ways to support the channel. And most of all, thank you very much for watching.